Hi, I'm Nancy Martinez. I'm the Director of Marketing and the Independent Retail Customer at Limbush Roses, and welcome to LBR Talks, where we share nuggets on business and leadership to help you elevate and enhance your floral business. Today, I am very excited to have two guests. I have our Limbush Roses, Jeff Marone, and Jason Lenz, who is our Director of Customer Channels. I'm pretty passionate about this one. We talk about inflation, and you ask why I would be passionate about that. It's the content that was shared during this conversation and really the message that was, I think, really clearly said by both of them, and I'm really asking you to watch through the whole thing. There's stuff going on, and it's going on everywhere, and we wanted to bring it to you so we could help you, obviously, and help you strengthen and keep your business healthy and strong. So let's just get on to the episode and take a listen to my conversation with Jeff and Jason. Hi, and welcome to LBR Talks. I am Nancy, your host here. And today I have two guests with me. I have Jeff Marone, the president here at Limbush Roses, and Jason Lenz, our director of channels. Welcome, fellas.
Thanks. Great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. And I think we have a really important topic here today. So I'm excited for your insight. Jeff will be talking more nationally as to what inflation looks like and what's going on with that. And then Jason will be talking about it within our industry and what he knows what's going on and what the forecast looks like there as well. So, Jeff, do you want to get us started, please?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I'm just going to read back to you a couple of headlines that we've all seen in the news, newspapers, online. Inflation's at a 40-year high. And this really started in the fourth quarter of 2021. So the U.S. government measures inflation primarily using a consumer price index called CPI. And so that historically is around 0 to 2% year on year. And beginning October and then accelerating into November and a bit in December, we've seen that measure up greater than 6, close to 7% each of those months. So that's equated to a 6 or 7% annualized inflation rate, which is really significant compared to where we've been historically. Again, 40-year high. Mr. Carter was president back then, back in 1982, and inflation got out of control. I don't think, from what I've seen from economists, what they're saying, the outlook is anywhere near like that, but it's real and it's come on pretty rapidly.
Yeah, so taking that from the national level, and then what does that look like as far as, how does it affect us?
Yeah, from a business standpoint, from a consumer standpoint, we're seeing it in the terms of input costs have gone up significantly. Labor is a key component of that. And so wages are up, and really much of this is pandemic related, pandemic driven. Obviously, COVID-19 started early in 2020. The second half of the year, the economy was down pretty significantly. Things slowed. Unemployment skyrocketed, and that's come back with a pretty dramatic effect. So we see things like national unemployment rate from December 2020 at 6.7% dropping to 4.1%. Minnesota unemployment at 3.9 a year ago. This past December down to 3.1. Workforce participation in Minnesota is third highest in the nation. So all of that is combined. It's a basic supply and demand component where limited supply, higher demand for labor drives up labor prices. So we're experiencing that every day, and it's real, and it's had an impact on businesses across the board, locally and nationally.
Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere, right? Like you said, I mean, I think to relate it, everyone knows when you go to the grocery store, your bags are lighter for the same amount of dollars you're spending. And I think we're better if we know that this is everywhere rather than maybe pretending that it's not, and it's not affecting all businesses, because it is.
For sure. Yeah, it's here, it's across the U.S., it's global, and it's real. And again, most of it is pandemic related. So we're seeing that slinky effect of pent up demand where government stimulus, people not able to travel, take vacation, have more money, and they're putting that to use. And that's really created a spike in demand with challenges to get materials. So we've all experienced going to the grocery store and seeing our favorite items out of stock or in limited quantity, and restrictions put on by grocers. So it's real, whether in the grocery store or at the gas pump. That's had an effect.
Okay, and so you said it started early last quarter. What does it look like? Is there any predictions of how
There
long
are
it's
lots and lots of predictions. So I've looked at some studies that some of the studies have an average of a variety of economic outlook. And so the general consensus is the economy is going to continue to grow, which is great for our industry, our business. That level of growth is going to slow second half of 2021 is the expectation. And with that should come more tame inflation. Still inflation, still 2 to 2.5% increase in prices, but not the 6 to 7% range we've seen here recently. And then the outlook is more normalization in 2023 from economic growth and inflation and labor. So this is a spike. It's going to continue for a bit from what I've been reading, but it should come more in line second half of the year. This doesn't mean prices are going backwards. It's meaning the amount of growth of those prices is going to moderate. Still going up, not flattening or going down, just not as severe.
So once they go up, they'll stay there, but then increase will be at a smaller rate. Is that what I'm hearing?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I think that helps to know the why behind it, pandemic related. It's been around for the last 4-ish months.
For sure.
And we can expect it through mid-year next year at this rate, and then continue, but at a smaller rate.
Right.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, well said.
Okay.
But not retreating.
Not retreating.
So
Yeah.
I think that's a key ingredient of this discussion today.
It's not going away.
To, really make sure everybody is on top of this, because it is real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, Jason, you have some insights to the floral industry and what's happening specifically to us and our customers.
Yes, I do. We've had some significant increases in inbound freight. So that being one of the biggest inflationary factors with bringing in product from Colombia, from Ecuador. Just the cost of the cargo rates have doubled, sometimes even more than that, depending on the time of the year. That is also most likely not going to go backwards. The significant factor there is there are not many cargo planes going to South America, to either Colombia or Ecuador from the U.S. So the amount of cargo return flights is virtually nil. And what companies in South America are doing currently is chartering their own aircrafts for one-way flights. So it's a significant increase in cost for them to do business, as well as to get their products into the U.S. For us to distribute.
So just to follow up on that, they're paying for their product to come in. They don't have anything to help the cost of going back. And so that's why the expense is getting
It's a charter, so it's not a scheduled multi-freighter that's going down and back. It's an empty plane going down and a full plane of flowers coming back solely. And that has happened in the past for the holidays, but never during a regular week of the year. And that's happening every week of the year at this point, every day of the week. So just the amount of cargo flights into South America is not sufficient with what is being sent out.
Okay, so that's getting it just to the U.S. How about getting it to us here in the Midwest?
And that's the other huge factor here is there's a nationwide shortage of truck drivers, and we've been seeing it. We've been struggling to keep those positions staffed here as well. But just to give you an example of what we're seeing happen is we used to bring in teams of drivers, meaning 2 drivers for each truck. They could drive 24 hours a day, get here. without stopping and meeting DOT required stop times. So what
'Cause
that
they would
did,
tag team.
yep, because they would just
Okay.
switch seats and keep going.
Okay.
And so that's delayed our inbound product some. But the bigger factor there is that we don't have the team. We're now paying for single drivers because they've broken up all the team drivers to basically drive more trucks because there's less people out there to do it. The impact there is we didn't get a reduced rate. In fact, we got a larger or a heavier rate to just to keep those trucks driven by that single driver, and it does delay us by 10 to 12 hours per inbound shipment. But again, that's not the thing that's contributing to the cost. It's the rate of the driver. So that is, those two things alone are massive when it comes to where the cost of goods are increasing for us, which we are taking that as a direct hit. These charter flights, we get billed for the freight. So we're seeing that immediately.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. And as far as the product itself?
So with that, and as Jeff suggested with the pandemic, we've seen farms cost, just plain cost of goods, chemicals, fertilizers, all of that go up, as well as labor. So on top of the inbound freight increases that we've seen, we're also seeing increases in the cost of the product itself, excluding the inbound freight. So, and most of the time when that happens, we don't see that retreat either. That's kind of why I was suggesting that you are aware of these prices as you're seeing them and keep an eye on them, because it isn't going to revert, and it's not likely that if you hold off long enough, they're going to go backwards and you're going to be in better shape than you are now. So being aware of them and taking constant action, I think, is the method I would suggest here.
Yeah, thank you for that. And what about our hard goods? What are you seeing happening there?
So what we're hearing there is, depending on where the products are coming from, meaning what country, what it has to go through to clear through customs and all of that, we're seeing anywhere from a 10 to 40% increase. And again, the majority of that is coming from where its point of origin is and what that cost to get it here is.
Wow.
So pretty significant there as well, on top of an area where we've been seeing increases all along. So yeah, it's not a great outlook there, but again, keep an eye on your costs.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I think one thing that we can, a positive of, even though we're going through this, is floral consumption is still amazingly high. You guys are busy. People are still wanting and needing flowers for whatever reason, whether it be their events, their funerals, their just wanting to spread joy through all of this. That feeling and that need to share that has not gone away. So that's a good thing. Another reason why I wanted to have this conversation is I've heard some comments that I want to share. I can't raise my prices. My customers won't pay more. I'm just going to eat the margin. Things like that are, they keep me up at night. And it's like, what can we do to help our customers to understand more about what's going on, and that it truly is everywhere. And so I appreciate what you've shared. I was on the phone with some customers today just to get some input from customers that are raising prices and what's happening to their businesses because of that. And let me tell you, I'll quote, my customers have not said anything. I have not lost any customers. I'm busier than ever. This is super important for you to hear, and what you decide to do is absolutely up to you. But we want you to be healthy. We want you to be a strong, thriving business. And even the fact that customers haven't said anything, it makes me wonder, have we pushed enough? Have you hit the threshold, or recovering your costs as much as you can? So my encouragement to you is to listen to this again. Some really great information, and just reflect on where you're at. And I don't know that people really know what their customers will or will not pay if you haven't tried or asked them. So consider that. Some things that may help is for your hard goods. If you do not shop on our Rollo program, ROLO, if you've never heard of it, I would contact your sales rep. That's for our syndicate hard goods. It's a great program, a minimum order of 10 cases, but that's one way to save on some hard good products that you run through on every day. And you can also do that on boxes with floral too. There's ways to manage pricing that way as well.
Partner at the Farm program has got some pretty nice percentage savings.
Yeah. And other is one of our customers puts Post-it notes up by different product when the price changes or what they need to charge. So when their designers create a design, they actually see what the current price is going on, and then make sure to charge to that, and then add another $5, whatever it takes, because you can't forget. We've noticed, like cardboard. I mean, things that you don't even think of. The boxes you get product in has gone up. Sleeves have gone up. If you have limited staff and they're working longer and you're paying overtime, that kind of stuff needs to get factored in. So anyway, I hope you've gleaned some information here, and maybe you've gotten some ideas. And I think more information takes fear out of stuff, and hopefully that you can take this and do what you need to do to continue to prosper. And because we want you to be around, and your customers want you to be around, they need you. Anyway, any other comments?
Yeah, I think what Nancy said, we're here to partner in your success, and whatever we can do to help, let us know.
Yes, and thank you all for your past partnership and current. We sincerely appreciate doing business with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening, and I again thank my guests, Jeff and Jason, for sharing their insights. I hope that you take these nuggets and apply it to your business however you see fit. I like quotes. This is an anonymous quote, but I think it's so important, and it's get paid for the value you create. And that's really our message. You guys create so much value. The independent floral shops, the way you guys design and create is far above and far superior where anybody's going to find anywhere else. And you deserve to get paid for it. And your customers would be really sad if you weren't around, and they wouldn't have anywhere to go. So keep that in mind too. Thanks for your partnership. Thanks for listening, and I wish you all the best.